Hi, welcome to part 2 of our 4-part series on intimate partner violence and how it intersects with the workplace. As a quick refresher, when I say intimate partner violence, I mean other terms that you might be more familiar with, such as domestic violence, domestic abuse, or relationship abuse, but know that we're talking about the same thing here. Intimate partner violence occurs within an intimate relationship in which one partner engages in a variety of abusive and controlling tactics in order to gain and maintain power and control over their partner. This manifests itself in many ways, including physical and sexual violence, verbal and emotional abuse, and financial control, among many other things. So why is intimate partner violence a workplace issue? As we've discussed in our last video, intimate partner violence has far-reaching impacts on a victim's life, and the workplace is no different. Intimate partner violence can become a threat to the workplace when an employee is experiencing violence, or even somebody that they're close with is experiencing violence. One national study showed us that 96% of victims of intimate partner violence indicated that the abuse that they were facing impacted their work life in one way or another. Trauma and fear can really significantly impact a victim, creating a fight or flight response, which can really impact their cognitive functioning and therefore their productivity. Some abusers may also keep victims up at night in effort to sabotage their work, also impacting their productivity and focus at work. I would like to share one survivor's account of their story and how their abusive partner tried to sabotage their work life. They said, "She called into my work to try to get me fired. She would call twice a day, sometimes 12 times a day. I would have other people at the office answer the phone for me. And they would say, 'You have to make your ex-wife stop calling.' And I would tell them that there's nothing I can do to make it stop. My work requires a background check every 5 years. And that's when I learned she had maxed out 5 credit cards in my name. So I had all these debts that had gone to collection that I was unaware of. She wanted these to go to collection so that I would lose my job." So intimate partner violence obviously not only impacts the victim that's experiencing the violence in their work life, but also has significant impact on a company and their financial well-being. Nearly 8 million paid days of work are lost each year due to intimate partner violence, equating to over 32,000 full-time jobs. The cost of intimate partner violence is high and comes in many forms, such as hospital and medical bills, missed days of work, decreased productivity, and so much more. As we mentioned before, abusive partners can and often do target their victims at work. So that can look like the abusive partner showing up to the place of work unannounced, calling repeatedly, sending unwanted gifts, which can create a dangerous environment for that victim and other employees. Stacy Gerardo Miller, who is the co-founder and former chief mission officer of the Vecino Group, shares her experience when she was supporting an employee experiencing intimate partner violence that I'd like to share with you to illustrate this. She says, "When a valued employee began missing work and not meeting responsibilities, something didn't seem right. In discussing the work situation, we found out that she had been struggling with domestic violence at home. Myself and another Vecino leader listened as the employee shared details of her personal situation and outlined the ways in which her abusive circumstances were impacting her job. Things like having to miss work to seek a restraining order and not being able to focus or produce due to lack of sleep and increased stress were discussed. Not long after the company became aware of the situation, the same employee called one morning to say that she could not come to work and warned the Vecino Group that her ex-husband might show up to the workplace. There's a direct correlation between domestic violence in the workplace. How can someone who's being abused at home show up at work the next morning and be a functional employee? In the long term, this situation made us more aware of how domestic violence isn't just something that impacts a home. It was such a reminder that our jobs require us to be sensitive to what people are going through when they're not at work. So this story and the other information we've discussed provides reason and hopefully incentive for employees and colleagues to not only engage in this issue to support their employees, but also to protect and improve their business. And now that we know that intimate partner violence is an issue that impacts the workplace, what can you do as an employer or a supervisor or a colleague? Over the next couple videos, we're going to discuss the 3 R's of handling this issue of intimate partner violence, which is recognize, respond, and refer. We're also going to dive a little bit into some really great local and national resources that can provide support.